Okay, let's start with a wild idea. What if some of the world's most sacred texts have a secret layer of meaning, but not in the words themselves, but in the numbers? Today we're diving into a really fascinating project that's using modern tech to hunt for exactly that, a potential mathematical blueprint hidden inside an ancient text. And this isn't some old theory, it's a digital quest that's happening right now.
So, this is the big question, right? The one that gets your mind spinning. For centuries, people have wondered if there's a deeper, numerical layer to Scripture. Is there some kind of hidden order, a mathematical blueprint, just waiting to be found beneath the surface of the words we've been reading for so long?
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get to know the project itself. Then, we'll look at a really cool clue involving the number 7. After that, we'll check out their grand plan for the research, I'll show you how you can join in, and finally, we'll talk about the legacy you could actually help create.
All right, let's get right into it. The project is called the Number Harmony Project. What it is, at its core, is an open-source collaboration. That just means it's totally public and anyone can join. And its whole purpose is to see if there are numerical patterns in the Quran using the kind of powerful tools we have today. Yeah, the project's mission is to explore this really unique spot where ancient scripture, math, and modern tech all meet. And honestly, the most important part of that is collaboration. This isn't some secret club. It's an open invitation for, well, anyone. Researchers, students, or just people who are curious about this stuff, to jump in and be part of the discovery.
So, what kind of patterns are we even talking about here? Let's zoom in on one specific example that is, frankly, pretty mind-bending. It's one of the things that sparked this whole project, and it all revolves around the number 7.
The clue starts with this one verse, QS 1587. In the text, it mentions the 7 often repeated verses. Okay, simple enough, but the project team looked a little closer. Not just at the words, but at the numbers that identify the verse itself, chapter 15, verse 87. And they ask, what if the clue isn't just in what it says, but in its very address?
Now this is where it gets really interesting. The researchers started with this number, 15,873. Now, how they got it from the verse numbers is a bit complex, but what's important is what this seemingly random number does. Think of it like a key that's about to unlock a pretty remarkable sequence.
So, you take that number, and remember the theme of the verse, the 7 often repeated, so let's multiply it by 7. Any guesses what we're going to get?
Boom! The result is 11111111, a perfect string of 6 ones. I mean, that alone is a pretty stunningly orderly result from what looked like a totally random number. But wait, the pattern isn't done yet.
But here's the real kicker. What happens if we take that result, 111,111, and we follow the theme of often repeated and multiply it by 7 again? You get 777,777, a perfect string of 7s. The whole cycle just completes itself, coming right back to the core number of the verse in this beautiful, harmonious way. It's a pattern of 7s that literally comes out of a verse about the 7 often repeated. It's pretty wild.
So let's just look at that journey. We start with our initial number, then it makes this huge leap after the first multiplication, and then another massive jump to complete the pattern. This visual right here, this is exactly the kind of potential hidden structure the Number Harmony Project is looking for.
Now that pattern, as incredible as it is just one clue. It's really just the tip of the iceberg. This project has a super ambitious plan to gather all of its findings into a big 7-volume series of books.
And this table here lays out the whole blueprint. It's designed to build on itself, starting with the basics in Book 1. From there, it gets into more advanced patterns. And then in Book 5, it gets even bigger, trying to connect these ideas to things like cosmology and modern science. It all wraps up with practical digital tools in Book 6 before putting it all together for the final conclusions.
So you might be thinking, okay, this sounds cool, but it's probably just for academics and math whizzes. But that's the thing, it's not. This is a wide open invitation, and they've actually designed it so that contributing is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
The whole process is super simple. First, you just go to the project's page on GitHub. That's just a website where people work on projects together. Second, you just look around and see how you might want to help. And third, you just start sharing your thoughts and ideas. That's it.
And this is so important. You really don't need to be a data scientist or a religious scholar. You could contribute just by suggesting an idea or jumping into a discussion. You could help with simple stuff, like counting how often a word shows up using free tools you could find online. And yeah, of course, if you do know how to code, you could help write scripts for analysis. Every single level of help is welcome.
So why does one little contribution matter in a project this huge?
Well, because every single idea, every note, every line of code helps build this incredible collective legacy of discovery.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? It's not about one person finding all the answers. It's about building a modern digital library together, where a small suggestion can be just as important as a full chapter draft. It's a totally new way to study an ancient text. And that really brings us to a final, pretty cool thought. This project is just focused on one text, and they're really just getting started. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What other secrets are just lying there, dormant, in all the world's ancient wisdom, just waiting for the right mix of human curiosity and modern technology to bring them into the light?